I really don't even think it needs that sort of assistance to be unintentionally funny. Here it is, watch.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the wedding of the brine shrimp.
So it begins normally enough.
Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about something that I saw while I was just, meandering through YouTube. A video by Matt Walsh talking about these, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube still, married shrimp. So we're going to react to that video. But before I get into that, I just want to say, so yesterday, the video I did, halfway through, all of a sudden had that weird snow Mexican trending fiasco that went on. And I went deeper into it after the video. And I think the weirdest thing that I have ever seen is people actually get upset over that. Oh, whoops, sorry. Like, imagine getting upset over being called a snow Mexican. Like this person here. Now, obviously they're against Trump and everything he stands for because... don't know. But they're getting genuinely upset about being called a snow Mexican. Like, who cares? Obviously they do, but that is such a non-issue. It is unbelievable to even announce that. Imagine being upset by being called a snow Mexican. That's just... grow up and take a laugh. It's a joke. I mean, if it isn't a joke, then... oh no. Anywho, let us get into this. I have not seen it. I don't know what it's all going to be about. We're just going to watch this together and then, yeah.
A paper that was just published in the peer-reviewed journal Springer Nature out of Germany has a lot of people questioning whether yet another hoax may be unfolding in the world of academia. Now, to be clear, for reasons I'll outline in a moment, it doesn't look like a hoax, but a lot of people are hoping it is because the alternative is just too depressing to contemplate. A PhD named Colin Wright first drew attention to the paper the other day on social media. The paper is entitled Loving the Brine Shrimp, Exploring Queer Feminist Blue Post-Humanities to Reimagine the America's Dead Sea. Now, the paper is written by somebody named Ulina Jarosz, who uses she, they pronouns, of course, and holds the position of assistant professor in the Department of Media and Cultural Research at UCAN in Poland. And here's what she, they came up with. The paper's abstract states, quote, the article aims to transform narratives surrounding Utah's Great Salt Lake, often referred to as America's Dead Sea, by reimagining how brine shrimp are perceived in science, culture, and art. It introduces the concept of hydrosexuality to bridge these realms, thereby enriching feminist blue post-humanities and feminist biology through art-based practices and queer advocacy. The hydrosexual perspective challenges settler science by exploring the connections between the reproductive systems of brine shrimp and the economy, ecology, and culture. This cultural analysis draws inspiration from low trophic theory and queer death studies. Those are all words.
What am I listening to? What am I listening to? I literally have no idea what I'm even listening to. What? Matt just spoke a lot of gibberish to me. What? Matt just rambled on about a bunch of words and I caught none of it. My brain just turned off. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think. The paper goes on to explain that hydrosexuality is a term that emphasizes the, quote, more than human sensuality and sexuality, emphasizing fluidity and relationality, and deploys watery thinking to dissolve the hegemonic notion of the autonomous and bounded human subject. Now, at this point, you can see why people thought that the Hooters guys had struck again. But then Colin Wright noticed that in this article, the authors referenced something called a post-media environmental performance that they had recently performed in the Great Salt Lake in Utah. The performance was called Cyber Wedding to the Brine Shrimp. And the performance, according to the authors, was intended to express their human love towards the vulnerable yet tough brine shrimp by means of, quote, a communal bath in the GSL, which some of us, including myself, perceived as making love to the lake. By the way, that's a quote there. So some of us, including myself, I wasn't saying myself sees it as making love. I'm reading a quote. I just want to be clear. So naturally, Colin Wright and his followers went looking for the footage, and if they could find it, it might demonstrate that these authors weren't playing a prank, or if they were really, really committed to the bit. What Wright and his followers found appears to confirm that this paper is indeed real. Now, to be clear, normally I wouldn't subject you to extended footage of ecosexuals in the natural world, but it's been about 8 months since we last talked about ecosexuals in the context of that show, Naked Attraction. So we've had enough of a cooling off period.
Ecosexual? What? What? Man, this is the problem with today's world. People are so... Their mind is so in the clouds that they can't even see the ground anymore. What is ecosexual? I've heard of tree hugger before, but what? I guess.
I think. And if this footage is any indication, things are deteriorating very quickly in that community, which is a surprise. You know, they always seem like such a stable and high-functioning people, but apparently not. So here's how the cyber wedding to the brine shrimp begins. You'll notice that the Mystery Science Theater guys have been overlaid to the front of the footage for comedic effect by one of Colin's followers, but I really don't even think it needs that sort of assistance to be unintentionally funny. Here it is, watch.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the wedding of the brine shrimp.
What the What am I looking at? What am I looking at here? Oh, man. Man, this right here is when boss babe liberals find out that the men who they want to pay for wedding dresses don't exist because they don't want them. What am I looking at? What? What am I looking? Oh no.
Artemia franciscana to the ecosexuals.
We call upon the spiral jetty to witness our wedding to the brine shrimp.
I am the spiral jetty. I've lived in this place since 1970, witnessing the ongoing environmental change in the Great Salt.
Oh no. Oh no. And of course it is a gay man who is doing the voiceover. Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Salt Lake. Over the past 50 years, my shape and status has been constantly transforming. Some decades under the water, some above the water. Now you can see my naked basalt rocks, vulnerable to the ongoing droughts and shrinking shoreline. I'm dry, thirsty, and concerned about this unique ecosystem I'm a part of.
So it begins normally enough. The ecosexuals announce their intent to marry the brine shrimp. Nothing strange about that. We've all been there. Who hasn't had a romantic dalliance with a crustacean? Totally normal stuff. But then out of nowhere, we hear the voice of the spiral jetty. And that's apparently a piece of land.
It's not even mermaids. It's just straight up shrimp. What? Why a shrimp? Why not a... I would be partially for this if they said they were trying to marry mermaids. But they're marrying shrimp. What?
And art that was constructed in 1970 by Robert Smithson in the Great Salt Lake. And as you heard, the spiral jetty apparently felt the need to insert himself and his personal problems into this wedding. He's apparently dry and exposed and thinks that's relevant to the wedding between these people and these brine shrimp. It seems kind of rude, really, to be injecting yourself in this solemn ceremony. So he doesn't shut up. He keeps going and going, and eventually he devolves into reciting land acknowledgements, of course. Watch.
I am wishing you all the best on this ecosexual cyber wedding to the brine shrimp. I am happy to be a part of this next chapter, because in the 70s, when Robert Smithson put me here, the only things that mattered were my size, aesthetic shape, and his ambition to expand sculpture into this public land.
Now, nobody thinks about getting rid of this guy at any point. That's what's really incredible about it. Imagine you're getting married and out of nowhere, some effeminate voice pipes up and starts reciting a land acknowledgement, then tells you about all how your wedding will benefit him, even if you're an intersectional feminist. It's enough to make you root for global warming to accelerate a little bit and ruin the whole beach. But eventually the land art quiets down and they're allowed to recite the vows. And then there's even more drama because somebody interrupts once again. This is a theme of these ecosexual weddings, apparently. None of these people can shut up. There's a lot of talking that goes on. Watch.
Annie and Beth, are you ready to make a vow to the brine shrimp?
Oh, yes,
we are.
Justina and Evelina, are
you ready to make
your
vows to the brine shrimp? Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Does anyone here object to this wedding between us humans and the brine shrimp?
No. No, I do not. I don't have any problems with this whatsoever. You know, you do you. No problems.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Human! I carry with me a by proxy objection from your art uncle, Newton Harrison. He says, but did you ask for consent from the brine shrimp?
Let's ask them.
Oh, Uncle Newton.
Let's ask them.
We will ask the brine shrimp.
Brine shrimp.
Brine shrimp.
Are you
brine
ready
shrimp.
to marry us humans?
Do we have your consent to marry you?
Listen. I hear yes.
I hear yes.
I don't hear no.
I hear that they want.
I rest my case. I have no objections to this. I don't hear no. First it was A.O.C. Now it is this weirdo. They're turning the clock back and we're not even doing anything. They're doing it on their own. That is insane. Insane.
Want our love, and they consent. My sense is not all of them, but most
Probably
of them.
enough. probably good enough. Imagine you go down to the beach with your family, a nice beach day down at the ocean, and this is what you witness. This is what you witness. Overweight feminists doing unspeakable things with the ocean life. So they asked the shrimp for psychic consent, and one of them says, "I don't hear no. My sense is not all of them, but most of them." And apparently that's good enough for these people. They subscribe to the Harvey Weinstein School of Ethics over there in Poland's ecosexual community, I suppose. So the marriage takes place, although there's a caveat. As the paper puts it, quote, "To avoid potential harm to living critters, vows were made to the brine shrimp's exponentially enlarged augmented reality image, which popped up at the lake's shore above the humans' heads. And they consummated the marriage by walking into the water with their hands in the air." I'll spare you having to witness the consummation of the marriage, but that did happen. We're not going to play that. Now, at this point, I have to come clean. I have to admit that I don't have much of a grand overarching point to make about the wonders of feminist, blue, post-humanities, and hydrosexuality. These people are so far gone that you legitimately can't tell if they're mocking the very concept of humanities, if this is all one great satire. But I will say this, that we have clearly reached the logical end point of wokeness, not in this particular moment, but we have reached it in general in Western society. Every slippery slope argument conservatives made for the past 50 years has been vindicated, every single one. And as we've seen time and time again, the only mistake that conservatives made with the slippery slope was if they missed anything, it was just a lack of imagination. It was just not being able to conceive of just how demented things would actually get. But the general gist has been vindicated over and over again. When you have feminists marrying the brine shrimp while a talking sculpture recites land acknowledgements in the background, it's abundantly clear that wokeness has jumped the shark or married the shrimp, as the case may be. This is the end point, but I would not say it's the bottom. There's no bottom. The slippery slope slides down to what would be the bottom, but then the bottom gives way to a vacuous, eternal abyss. And that's the point that wokeness has reached.
What do I even talk about? What are in the comments? Hold on. These are the people that are telling you J.D. Vance was weird. Yeah, they asked for consent. She said, "I don't hear no." That is some Bill Cosby logic. Silence does not imply consent. Does anybody object to this wedding? God, please stop. This is simply performative mockery of marriage. You know, it is a mockery of marriage, yes, but like, does anybody take it seriously? I don't even know what to say. He said that they consummated their marriage? How? I don't get it. I think the weird thing is, hold on, this specific moment.
I hear that they want our love.
And then atheists will say that we're weird for worshipping a sky daddy. These people are talking to a piece of paper with a circle on it. I have no words. I have nothing. That is insanity. That is just all I have to say. It is insanity. Alright, well, okay. Anywho, that's all I'm gonna say. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Have a good one.